Today we will talk about some R3 Corda, XDC, and XRP drama once again, but the drama is, in my opinion, a little naive, and it still surprises me that people in crypto who are inherently against the establishment, or in my opinion, I think the majority of them are. I don't really understand why people can't read between the lines and see what is possible with R3 Corda, XRP, and XDC, which are pretty well interconnected by way of SBI. And they do have a past as well, which we will talk about more. But I caught this on X, and it's this guy who says, "Okay, Mr. Joel Katz," which is David Schwartz, who is the CTO at Ripple and one of the original architects of the XRPL. Would you please address my new 10 things the XRP community needs to learn? This is for clarity in this space. And the 10 things, according to Sir Clown whatever. One, Swift does not use XRP. Two, R3 does not use XRP. R3 does not use the XRPL. That one I can agree with a little bit more, kind of. Four, the XRP ETF is fake. I think that what we saw is fake, I guess. I don't know if fake is the right word, but it's not officially happening at this point in time. There are zero CBDCs on the XRPL. FedNow does not use XRP. FedNow does not use the XRPL. XRPL needs more builders and less shillers. I agree with that. Although the amendments around the automated market makers, for one, I think have turned a lot of people off. Riddles have wrecked some people, and influencers have caused harm. I think that's pretty much the case in all topics out there, not just crypto. But David Schwartz chimed in and said, "To my knowledge, all of these are essentially true. There are some small exceptions, such as this one." And he linked to this R3 Corda article about R3 launches the Universal Settler application to facilitate global payments on Corda. XRP, the first settlement mechanism in there. And this makes a lot of people in the XRP community upset, and I don't really understand why. So Mr. Man XRP, who agrees with me on this, and I've talked to him a little about it, as well as 24 Hours Crypto, both say essentially the same thing. Don't worry about but they're using XDC in the R3 Corda settler. Keep your head down and carry on. They're not going to publicly announce everything they do, which I say constantly. Why would these financial institutions who are deeply connected to Ripple and who are involved with R3 Corda in one way or another, probably for trade finance related things that tie back into XDC, that code to use XRP in the R3 Corda settler is publicly available. So why would these institutions not want to use XRP when it's available, and they're very likely working on it right now anyway? But as far as the comment here, just like I have said, using XRP, the date at the bottom explains it all. It doesn't matter how old this is from R3, it is still important. He is referring to the copyright 2023 R3 all rights reserved. This her Kalam guy is just very, very against it. He seems to be a Bitcoin maxi as well, so I don't know. I probably wouldn't agree with him on a lot of stuff. Um, but if you open these replies, Mr. Man XRP says you don't understand compliance. And he's referring to this copyright as if having the copyright current means that this is still important information. And I haven't thought of that before, but I do think it's an interesting point. However, this led me to this somehow. I think David Schwartz, yeah, so he actually referred to this thread from Bob Way, who was involved in Ripple early on. He has a thread about the long history between Ripple and R3 in relations to XRP. So let's run through this. It is long, so I'll try to not have a hard time on my speech, but I wouldn't expect that. 2016 was in the dark days for XRP. Almost nobody was using XRP, and few of the new important people internal to Ripple understood it or cared about it at all. They all came from banking or the financial services industry. In 2015, Ripple, along with many other companies in the crypto space, got letters from FinCEN, who was threatening them for something. Blah blah blah. At that point in time, crypto was beginning to get a reputation for crime and scams. Let's just point out that the USD is probably the most prevalent form of currency that is involved in crime and scams. Ripple was trying to separate itself from the wider crypto space, so their head of compliance decided it was best to settle any controversy, then move on as quickly as possible. Ripple expected to settle first, but for things unknown to me, those lawsuits from FinCEN did never actually happen. As far as he knows, Ripple was the only company that suffered consequences. So essentially everyone else got a free pass and XRP did not. That sounds familiar. The original intention of the XRPL was for it to be a completely open network, just like Bitcoin was. That was an ugly one. But the settlement changed Ripple into a money service company. As such, anyone who used the XRPL through Ripple's web-based software was considered a customer, and as a customer, they had to submit KYC information. Of course, they had not required that up until that point, nor did they actually have personnel to work with that information anyway. Compounding this was the fact that XRPL users were worldwide, and a lot of them didn't actually speak English. So for at least 6 months, the whole company went into KYC mode. In the process of that, Ripple had to temporarily shut down the Ripple Trade client so that it could be changed to request KYC information, which meant that nobody could use the XRPL because there were no other consumer choices at that time. The wallet client was quickly changed and came back online, but collecting KYC information from people who didn't want to actually participate in that was not easy. Um, Blah blah blah. That confusion caused other projects to block US users as well. So after about 8 months of KYC and preventing non KYC access, the new banking focused management decided that it was best to just cut Ripple from the whole XRPL Wild West show. So, just as XRP was having its first big price rally, 2017 2018, they announced Ripple was not continuing with the Ripple Trade client. Unfortunately, they did so without providing any alternative way to access XRPL or explaining how anyone could do it themselves, so XRP's price crashed hard. Turns out there was a proposed plan. Chris Larson, who's also involved with XLM and the PayPal mafia, was not happy, and it was not clear to the XRPL partners what they should do. Essentially, it was a cluster. Yeah. Does this feel like the XRP Twitter files? I think that was about ETHgate. I don't even know. So as 2016 came around, none of the new finance and banking folks in charge had any idea what XRP was or what the XRPL was for. They were 100% focused on improving banking and making Ripple a great banking software and services company. That's what they were hired to do, not their fault. Especially at a time when everyone was actually hating on crypto, especially those in the banking industry. Imagine that, because it would make their old, outdated, and power-hungry processes obsolete. But everyone was now fascinated by blockchain technology, so they had been so successful talking about DLT. So now enter R3. R3 was a group of people who saw that DLTs were catching a lot of attention. They also saw that Bitcoin and crypto weren't really attracting a lot of attention. They saw that no banks had checked into DLT technology, but because of Ripple's media success, everyone was actually interested in it. So they pitched themselves as a research consortia made up of a bunch of financial types. They promised for an upfront fee and monthly payments. R3 would become each bank's research arm. They got crazy popular fast. Somewhere along the way, someone proposed that R3 and Ripple should partner up. Now, keep in mind that R3 had bankers, but no ledger software at all early on. And of course, bankers compete against each other, so they wanted to keep their own secrets, but putting all their secrets on a DLT seemed really cutting edge. But they are held accountable to those who are actually paying the bills, and they had to have a hands-on demonstration, which R3 did not have, but Ripple did. So as it turns out, all of R3's guys and some of Ripple's got together. Blah blah blah. R3 was happy. the new finance folks at Ripple were happy. So R3 made a proposal. They would build their own system to meet the bankers' perceived needs, but somehow they would use XRP to help move value around. That's where the R3 Corda settler actually came from. And in 2018, it was originally proposed to use XRP. So a very hasty set of contracts was drawn up between R3 and Ripple. One was about a partnership. The other provided R3 an option to buy XRP at a higher than market rate. The idea was that if R3's work increased the value of XRP, then they should see upside from that option. They gave R3 an option on 5% of the XRP. The idea was if R3 was unsuccessful, they wouldn't get anything. But as it turns out, the contracts got very effed up. The option contracts was written in a separate document from the partnership. Nobody connected the two with the performance clause. How this happens accidentally, I don't know. This doesn't really sound accidental in my opinion. R3 didn't really perform anything for Ripple, and the XRP price did not increase, so options remained out of the picture. So R3 came to Ripple to actually get their XRP, which confused Ripple because R3 didn't do anything as part of the partnership. It was all a bust. And of course, XRP was just increasing in price, and the only reason for R3 to actually get the option of their XRP was to sell that XRP, which would be presumed to have caused a crash in XRP's price. So you got a bunch of attorneys get involved, and it went downhill from there. And he didn't personally know the results of the negotiation, but R3 and Ripple did eventually settle in 2018, and now they are indirectly connected again by way of R3 Corda and SBI that connects XDC with SBI R3, which then connects to XRP with SBI Holdings and SBI Ripple Asia. And just to remind everyone, I believe that in particular XRP and XLM are very interconnected, since a lot of the big names behind each of them came out of the PayPal mafia. It also connects to IBM, WorldWire, and the Hyperledger as well, which connects to a number of other things like HBAR and Casper and SHX as well. And the CTO, I think, Sean, he came from XRP and then XLM before he co-founded SHX.